What's good? What's good? What's good, y'all? I know, man. I finally made my first YouTube video. I started off just making like financial literacy videos on Instagram, but you can only talk so much about a situation for 2 or 3 minutes. So I kind of like YouTube because you can talk way more than 3 to 4 minutes, right? So what you're gonna get out of this channel is pretty much a lot dealing with financial literacy. You're gonna get some trading content. Like I'm gonna post like trades I take. You're gonna see like economic policies. You're gonna see like just different ways of like budgeting, credit, just really like just like self-development and financial literacy. Gonna talk about like different retirement accounts. Really gonna just talk about a lot of different stuff, right? And I want to make this thing like consistent, so I want to do like a Fox Strategy Fridays, is where I pretty much just talk about like what happened the past week, right? As far as any policies, anything in the economy going on, and then I want to leave it off with like just something about like budgeting or credit or just even business credit, just trying to get to that next step, right? So that is my goal. This is one of my business I like to do, is to help people like just understand about the policies or just understand about like different ways to invest or just how to manage their money, because this is just like a passion for me, right? Like I literally study the markets in and out. I literally be on Yahoo Finance, Wall Street Journal. So, but I've pretty much been investing going on way before COVID, long term, right? And then short term trading, I started getting to like 3 years ago. So, this is just one of my endeavors, is because I feel like this is a passion of mine. This is something that I don't mind to talk about more than 30 minutes to help you guys too. So it's like it's helping y'all, but it's really helping me too, because it's like now I have a chance to like do even more studying, giving y'all information, seeing y'all go crazy with it, because that's really what it's about, man. It's not like it's enough money for all of us, right? So this is what you're going to get from this channel, man. And feel free to even let me know in the comments too, like, hey, can you talk more about this? Can you do more? Can you do more of this? Or can you just talk about this? So just let me know, man. Really, really talk to me in the comments. This is going to be a good channel, really all in one, like I said. So what I pretty much going to talk about for like the next 15-20 minutes is that I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to just talk about just like different ways of budgeting, credit, investing, things in that sort. So you can pretty much see what this channel is going to be about. All right. So if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, right, and comment. Okay. What's up, y'all? Now, I have a PowerPoint for y'all, and it really talks about budgeting, credit, investing, retirement planning. So, this is what you're going to get from my channel, right? This is what it's about. This is what I'm going to be talking about, right? And feel free in the comments too to let me know which other topics y'all want me to talk more about, okay? So, let's get into it. So number one is just understanding like budgeting and expense tracking, right? This is crucial for just like financial success, financial freedom, because you have to know how much money is going out and how much money is coming in, right? So that's why it's important to look at your bank statements, right? So you want to see where is your money going, right, during those times, right? So are you spending your money on food? Are you spending your money on entertainment? Are you spending too much money going traveling, right? So budgeting and know where your money is going is crucial, especially if you have goals, right? It's important to have financial goals, like you want to be married at a certain age so you can have enough money for the for the ring and down payment, or you want to save up for a house, or you want to be debt free. So having financial goals relates to budgeting, because once you know that you are budgeting for your goals, like you have like a bigger why. So that's very important, right? So you want to know, okay, if you have goals of being debt free, instead of us going out on the weekend, let's cut back, let's save some money so we can pay off debt faster. Okay, so that's another thing too with budgeting. And you want to understand too, like which, like you have to analyze like your patterns. Like, do you spend more because you gotta reward yourself, or do you spend more just because you got it, right? So it does come with discipline. Having a strict budget does come with discipline. All right, now debt management strategy. So if you are in debt, which most people are, right? So we either have student loans, we either have credit card debt, or we just got personal loans, right? So there's like several different ways to attack debt, but just two strategies that you can use. Now this one is the snowball method, right? So you're going to attack the debt that has the smallest rate, right? So if you got like credit cards like 3%, loan 8%. So you want to tackle you want to eliminate like the smallest debt first. That really builds up like like your motivation, you feel happy, right? But here's another way called the debt avalanche method, and you're paying off like the highest rate on whatever debt you have, right? So if you got student loans at like, I'm just throwing a number out there, like 9%, then you got a personal loan at 5%, you might want to take care of that student loans first while you're still making the minimum payments to each creditor, right? That's what with both strategies. So you still have to make the minimum payment, okay? And you want to pay off debt because once you're debt free, that really gives you the opportunity to invest into different vehicles, right? Because now instead of you thinking, oh, like let's just say if you had like some extra money, instead of you thinking like, oh man, I got to pay off debt, now you can use this money to invest, right? That's the whole goal. It should be financial freedom and to enjoy the life that we want. It is cool working a 9 to 5, don't get me wrong, but our goal should not be we want to work 9 to 5, 30, 40, 50 years, right? We're going to be having kids soon. If not, some already have children. So we want to attend their games, watch them get older, right? Like, or just spend time with family and friends. But debt will have us in the chokehold. Now, with savings and emergency fund, this is very important, right? So after like your budgeting, right? So you have your goals, like okay, so I want to be debt free. I know what I need to do because I looked at my bank statement from budgeting. I'm going to cut off all expenses that I don't need, right? Whether it's music stream, whether it's like all like these different streaming apps like music, Netflix, all that stuff that you don't need, cut it off. And I would say right after paying debt, you want to make sure you have a cushion, man. This is so important. This will help you so you don't have to rack up more credit card debt or put yourself in a bigger hole. Is because you have, I would say honestly, 6 months to a year of living expense put up, right? So let's just say for easy math, if your expenses is $1,000 a month times that by 6, that's how much you need, right? Before going to the parties, before traveling, before trying to reward yourself, this is crucial. This is crucial, man, because it's gonna provide like just a level of safetyness because you know that hey, you're good 6 months, like for 6 months, and this gives you the ability too that you don't have to always run to your credit card if you need some extra money or if you're investing into the stock market and you need money. You don't want to pull from your um investments account, right? Like your brokerage account. Or if you got money in crypto, you don't want to pull it out because you need the money. That's not what investing is for. That's for people who have 6 months of living expense put up. So make sure, guys, that we have 6 months of living expense put up, right? And understanding credit, y'all. Credit is the number one. Like, it's so vital. It's so vital to get ahead because it provides you leverage. And we need leverage to capital, right? But if you have a good credit score, then you can use, let's just say if you have a business or something, you can now go establish business credit, right? But you will still be like the PG, right? That's a personal uh, guarantor. So you're still responsible for it. But let's just say if you open up credit cards or if you get loans, it don't affect you personally, right? Unless you don't make the payments or if you go default or whatever. But it will show up as a inquiry on your personal credit. So just think about that too. And then just some ways too to keep your credit good. Only spend what you can afford to spend. Okay? Credit is not your money. It's not. And I'm sorry to tell you that. It is not your money. Okay? You might think because you have a higher credit limit that, oh, okay, let me I can do this, do that. No, you still have to pay that back. Credit cards are not for emergency funds because you still have to pay that back, right? Credit should be used to build. So they say 30%, but I like to use 10 to 15% of the credit card. Showing discipline, right? That's what it is. It's just showing discipline, and then that's why it's important to have that 6 months to a year living expense put up, because you don't rely on credit. That's the whole point. You're not relying on credit, and also you want to keep your debt to income ratio low. Okay, so you want to make sure that, right, you don't want to have a lot of debt, right? So it's really easy, y'all. Just make sure you make the on time payments, right? Only spend what you can afford. Like, here you go. I always tell myself, man, if I can't pay this off in 30 days, then I'm not charging my credit card. Once you've been in debt, had a lot of credit card debt, trust me, bro, I had that, bro. Over like $10,000 in credit card debt, creditors calling, things in that sort. But now I'm debt free, and now I'm trying to share the principles on how to run away from that, because it's stressful, bro. It's stressful because with credit you can leverage, right? Like you're available to more money, right? But that's why I like business credit, because you get better rates, you get higher limits, and it's not affecting your personal credit. So it's just all about protecting yourself at the end of the day. And then retirement. Now I know most of us not thinking about this, but that time will come, right? So having either like a Roth RA or a traditional RA, or like a 401k with your company, or even a solo 401k for self-made, I said self-made, self-employed entrepreneurs, those are good retirement accounts, right? Because you want to make sure that you are saving for retirement. You don't want to work in retirement, right? I don't want to work in retirement. You want to make sure that close to retirement, man, everything is close to being paid off. You're not, right? And I'm talking about like those big purchases, right? Like cars should be paid off, house on the borderline paid off, right? Because when you in your retirement, you don't want to have to keep worrying about paying off liabilities, right? You want to enjoy time with your grandkids, with your wife, with your children. So, and in order to build that safety net, you have to invest early. There's different retirement accounts that you can invest in. Now, the one I like is the S&P 500. You can invest into the S&P 500. Really just pick, like my boy the master investor say, he say two techs, two index. So it's really that simple. You don't want a lot of stocks in your retirement account, because then that can just make it more crazy, right? You want it to be reliable. Even though nothing is guaranteed in the stock market, you at least want to do your research where you can get like where you're investing into good companies. And when you invest into the S&P 500, that's 500 of the best market cap companies. So that's pretty good to even look at, to even start thinking about, right? Because also I want to leave you with something too. So let's just say if a person makes 60,000, right? Now it's this thing called like the 80% rule, where you need to make at least 80% of your money. 80%. All right. Let's just say if you make 60,000, you at least need to make 80% of that in retirement. Okay. So that's 48,000. So usually people usually want to retire around like what, 57, 59, and you know you're probably going to be in retirement for like 20 to 25 years. I'm not sure. So let's just say like 20 years. So you're going to need almost $1 million or more. in retirement, right? So, and people be like, "Oh, I don't need that much." It's just important that as you get older, that you just have those big purchases that they be paid off, okay? Because that's gonna help a lot. And then just the fundamentals of investing, right? You want to understand like your risk tolerance. Everybody is different, right? People might be conservative, people might be aggressive, people might be just, you know, uh I can be a little aggressive, but then I don't wanna be too much. So investing is for all different types of people, okay? And you can choose. Like there's different types of investing. You can do what I just mentioned, like long term, or you can do short term, where you're trading in and out of market, either through options or you trade in futures or forex. So investing is really like the way to go after you do like your research on companies. And don't always take my word on it too. Do my research, fact check me, and look at which companies that you can see yourself investing. And here's just another game too I want to tell you is that when you're investing to these companies, or when you're looking for new companies to invest, what companies that you already have a product of. Like for example, like Apple, right? So I got the iPhone. Um, I have the MacBook Pro, right? I got the watch. So it's like, why would I not have Apple stocks, right? Because if I have all their products, I'm already up to date of their business. I already know what's going on, right? So that's just a little stuff that you can start thinking about right now. And then just understand like tax planning too. Taxes is very important, right? You want to seek a professional tax advisor, but this is just for educational purposes only. Just understanding about like tax deductions with your business, right? That's why you been hearing me say like business credit, because that's leverage, right? So with tax deductions, it's very important to, when you do have a business and you structure it right. And then when I mean structure a business right, I'm talking about you have like the LLC, you have a business address, you have the 1-800 number, you have the website. That's structured right, right? And you also too with tax planning, you want to have you like an app, like a expense tracking app. So with that, let's say if you get gas, or for me, I bought this MacBook Pro, I can write this off. Okay, so I can write this off, and only thing I have to do is just have like that app I told you, any expense tracking app. Take a picture, date, time, why did you purchase it, right? And then there's a lot of deductions that you can deduct, right? Expenses from your business that we'll talk about later, but that's also so another vital thing too. And then estate planning, right? This is important too, because we all do have to leave this earth, right? But it's all how you plan it and look at it, right? Now, a good way to make sure that your money will get to your family, right? That all your assets will be protected, and you know who is going to get what is a will, right? But you also need a life insurance policy, right? And then because the life insurance policy can make sure who will get the funds, things in that sort, right? And then just having a trust too. That's very important, right? Because you want to avoid probate. Probate is like the public court. So if you don't have life insurance, then all your assets and everything will go to public court, and that's just a mess, right? I'm not about to sit up here and say anything about it, but just know you want to avoid that as much as possible, guys. So that's pretty much it for today. I really hope that y'all learned something, man. I hope y'all took some notes. I hope that y'all learned something new and trying to apply this information to your lives, because no one is going to teach you, no one is going to help you, right? So let me know what y'all think, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what some other videos y'all want. And yeah, man. So until next time, Fox Strategy Fridays. Peace.